Christine here with another cute, quick, and simple card I made using my Cricut. Before we get started, I just want to apologize for the 6 weeks I was out. A lot going on. I started Insanity. It's a exercise program. I changed jobs. We had garage sale weekend. We're renovating at our house. You name it. Busy, busy, busy. Plus, the sun started coming out. It's summer. It's very hard to justify being cooped up in a scrapbooking room. But I'm back, and I'm excited to show you this cute little baby shower card I was asked to make. I have to make 35 of them, and it took me a little while to figure out what I wanted to do. But I'll show you what I was asked to do. And so this is a picture of the quilt and bedding. There's not much to it. That she's going to be getting from her family. So she asked me to make the cards with this type of theme. So I chose this little train here as best I could, and I played with my Cricut cartridges to come up with this card, and this is what I started out. And I love the train, but in this particular card it's a little too big, and I really love the color combination. It does match the quilt that she is going to get. So I've been playing, and finally this is what I settled on, and I think it's absolutely adorable. So I'm happy with that, and hopefully she will be too, as I have to make 35 of them. So let's get started, and I'll show you what I've done. I started out with a pretty dark blue cardstock. It is, I believe, Recollections brand, sorry, can't speak, and it is textured. So unfortunately they do not make this color, which by the way I don't know what it is, in 8 by 11. So I had to take 12 by 12 sheets, cut it down to 8.5 by 11, cut that at 5.5 inches, and get it a standard A2 size card. So I'm just going to fold that in half. I'm going to use my bone folder to get a crisp fold, and then I'm just going to put that back in place. I wanted to use the burgundy that I used in the train as the background like I had done in the first one, but I actually ran out of paper, and when I went back to Michael's they didn't have any more of that color, and I had already cut out the train. So I decided to stick with a plain white cardstock base, and it is cut out at 4 inches by 5 1/4. And I'm just going to take my ATG gun, and I'm going to just glue that to the base of the card. I've been watching a lot of videos lately because I subscribe to a lot, and I think I'm the only one who starts with the card base. Typically, a lot of people start with their images and then finish with the card base. I must be, I don't know, strange I guess, because I always start with my card base and then I fit my images around my card. So next I took this piece. It is embossed. It's really, really pretty. My son has actually ran off with it. It is a Darris embossing folder I used with my Cuttlebug, and I think it is so super, super pretty, and it kind of gave the quilting effect that I was looking for the background. And I'm just going to take my ATG gun again, and I am going to put that in the center. It is cut at 3 3/4 by 5, and unfortunately you do need a lot of adhesive because you want this to lie perfectly flat against the card base. So that looks good, and I think it's centered. I don't know if you can see it, but you can't leave any rounded edges, so I might have to go back in with my two-way glue. But anyways, so just before I continue on with my images, the only other thing I did is did some little stitch lines to look like it's the quilt, and I went all the way around the white edge. I'm not going to go too far. I have shaky hands and I don't like to do too much stitching on my videos as it is quite boring to watch. Okay, so you get the idea. From there I went to my Cricut and I started out with my Cricut Light B is for Boy, and I think they have some really cute images, including this cute little train which matched the quilt image the best. I have a few other images, train images from other Cricut cartridges such as Beep Beep, and I think there is one of the new arrival has a train too. Anyways, so I just took all of the colors I was going to use and I cut out this train. So I started with the base, and all of my images here are cut at 2 3/4 to get the size that I wanted. So the first layer is the one in the checkerboard blue that matches the base of the card. I thought it was so cute. I'm going to move the card out of the way for a second. And then to get this piece, it was in the burgundy. I'm going to show you what I did with that. I cut it completely off. Then I also cut these 3 pieces in burgundy as well. And then I cut the wheels out twice because I want the big wheels to be layered, and then it has the 2 smaller ones. So that's all the images, and I could have used the yellow center, but I didn't feel that it was a good combination because I really wanted to show the checkered body of the train, and if I put yellow it would have covered it up. So instead I decided to put Sweet Baby. This comes from, where's my thing, Itsy Bitsy Banners from Stampin' Up, and it says Sweet Baby, and I also got the framelits to cut it out. And I tell you, talk about tedious, I had to cut out 36 of these things, woo, and one at a time on my Cuttlebug as I only had 1 framelit. Anyways, that was the majority of my work, which was cutting out the images. So let's piece this thing together. So I just use some 2-way glue, and I want to make sure that I'm in the frame of the camera. Remove all the hairs. So this piece just goes on top, just like so. And believe it or not, I'm a little surprised, but it's not 100% perfect match. There's a little bit of extra of the blue sticking out on the bottom. I'm going to trim that down a little afterwards. Then I took this piece here, make sure I'm using the correct side before I put the glue down. Alright, and that goes there to piece my train together. Okay, then I have my wheels. Also, because I've cut so many of them, here let me show you, see, like 35 of them, they're in my baggie. I have to make sure that I check that I'm not gluing the wrong side, because the holes need to line up, it's very important. And that one goes there. And I think... nope. See what I mean? So that one goes there. And just like so. There we go. Okay, and then the wheel. Now I'm learning a little trick about the wheel. This little thin piece, because not all of the spokes are not all perfect, the same size. So I had to play and play to get the right alignment. So what I found is this little tiny spoke is the one that goes there. So I'm just going to glue that down as well. I'm sorry, this video might end up being a little longer. Typically I piece my train or my images, but I wanted to show you this one because I kind of did a few things differently. And then this piece here, see, this is what it would have looked like. It is actually really cute, but if I did use it and then use the yellow, then the train wouldn't have shown the checkerboard pattern, which is what I wanted. So this piece here gets cut off right here and here, and I'm not using the rest. So again, I'm just gluing this down real quick, and it goes right on top of the blue piece. All right. And then, oops, I didn't do a very good job of putting this one down. I don't think I can move it now. Doesn't really matter too much. It's going to have one on top. So the next is I'm going to glue this sweet baby down. And I'm putting it primarily towards the top of the train so it doesn't interfere with the wheel. Alright, I'm going to bring back the image back, my card back, excuse me, and I'm going to glue my train down. Again, I'm just using two-way glue, trying to get the edge of the train so it stays down. Alright, and I think I'm going to put the train maybe a ½ inch from the right side of the card, so a ½ inch approximately. Oh, I think it's cute. Okay, then I'm going to add the wheel on again, except this time I am going to be raising it up. Make sure I have the right way here. I'm just using a little bit of foam tape, whatever you have available, pop dots, etc., etc. And I think that's the way it's going to go, just like so. Okay, I have a tiny little star punch also, and I chose 5 yellow stars. I probably should be using my, hopefully it'll stick, there we go, my tweezers. They are tiny, and I always end up having sticky fingers after I use my two-way glue. So I'm just putting as if the stars were coming out of the train. Alright, put this one down here. Oopsie, they stick to my finger. There we go. At the same time, they're easy to pick up if they stick to my fingers. And then we'll put one right here. And one more. And it gives a really cute trail of stars. Just like so. And hopefully I have enough room for my 2 clouds. So my 2 clouds come from Simply Charmed. Now, I didn't have any clouds in the Beep Beep, so I used these tiny little clouds from Simply Charmed. Actually, I'm going to put it down a little bit. It doesn't really matter where they go as long as there's room for them. And I'm going to put this one this way. Alright. Okay, just like so. It doesn't take too long to put them together. Now, again, I took a jelly roll pen and I did some stitching in the clouds really quick. Hopefully I'm still in the screen. And I'm going to do this before I use some glossy accents. Just like so. Going fast, so. Alright, just like so. So let that dry for a second. I also took, I have another jelly roll pen. This one's like a glitter one. So what I did is, because I didn't want too much shine, I did go over the stars very lightly, just to give it an extra little twinkle. It is for a boy, so as you can, tell by the blue colors. And just like that. Just real quick. I did around here of the tip of where there would be a light on the train. And I went around the edge of the sweet baby ever so lightly. I didn't want too much shine and too much whatever, and I just realized that I forgot a piece, but that's okay. So typically before you put the wheel down, you need to put this piece. So I'm just going to use some glue and I'm going to poke it in between, and I started right here, right in between the center of the hole of the wheels, and I'm just going to press that down just like so. I'm going to need my tweezers probably, and of course I have sticky fingers so everything sticks to it. There we go, that should work. Okay, and before I show you the glossy accents, I have these gems. So in the corner I used 5 or 6, I think 2, 4, 5. I think there's enough room for 5 just right in the corner. And then I used 1 in the center of each of the wheel. These things are great. I picked them up at a dollar store. And there's so many of them, and they are in a strip. So if you need them for the strips, the distance is perfect. And if you use them single, then you just kind of hide the extra adhesive. And that works. Alright, we're almost done. As I said, I used some glossy accents. I'm going to just turn the card sideways. And I just puffed up the clouds. And with glossy accents, you just, I can see my hand shaking, sorry. You put just a steady beam of the glossy accents. Take out any bubbles. There's a bubble there. I'll have to take a pin. And then along the edge. And when it dries, it's going to be a cute little shiny sticker-like little cloud. And let me see if I can just take that hole out. Pop the bubble. There we go. And there's my card. So hopefully you think it's cute. And hopefully you like it as much as I do. I'm just going to finish the stitching. And then I have done 2 cards out of my 35. So thanks for watching.